Hi guys, all the information in my video today is taken from Century 21 Accounting Textbook. Today we're going to go over 10.2. In 10.1 you learned about the sales journal and how to journalize. Today we're going to be learning about posting from the sales journal to the accounts receivable ledger. So we learned about posting to the accounts payable ledger. Posting to the accounts receivable ledger is very similar. So here's the sales journal that we have. And so we recorded a sale that we made. And when we post to the accounts receivable ledger, the only difference is this balance column is no longer a credit, it becomes a debit because accounts receivable normal balance are debits, whereas accounts payable normal balance are credits. So this is the only difference that we see, but the posting process is the exact same. You take down the date, you copy over S11 for the post reference, you bring down the debit, and then it's a debit balance, so you add it to the balance before debit, and debit is addition. Then you make sure you post reference the sales journal with the accounts receivable ledger number. So you usually post all the accounts receivables first. So to the accounts receivable ledger, you post that first. And you typically do this so that each customer account will show an up-to-date balance. So they post frequently for this. Then we have total, proving, and ruling the sales journal. And so we added our total row down here. We put the date, total, and just add everything up above it. Our goal here for totaling, proving, we want to make sure that the debits equal the credits. And then we rule. If it's true, we double line it. So first thing we did was single line it, single rule, date it, total, add up the columns, and then we double rule it because down here we found that the debits equal the credits. How we did that was take the debit here and just put that in a separate column. Honestly, I'd make a T-chart. I could do it for you. I have some scrap paper here. So I would make a T-chart and I would write the debit balance 9,021.23. And then two credit balances, 8,637.50 and 383.73. You add these together and you get 9,021, and that ends up being the same exact balance. Debits equal credits, so you can go ahead and double rule it. Total, proving, and ruling the sales journal. Finally, once you total and prove and rule, now you know that your numbers are accurate, so then you can post to the general ledger. So before we were posting to the accounts receivable ledger, now we're posting to the general ledger. So the general ledger, we take column by column. So I started with the date, 30th, first account is accounts receivable, and it's a debit, it tells us that. So sales journal S11, debit the 9,000, bring it over to the carrying balance. This is a debit, that is a debit, we add them together, 22,000. Then we post reference up, 1130. None of this has changed. This is the same process of posting. Posting is the same process. Once you get it once, then you can figure out how to do it a second time. So this shouldn't be new, but this balance part is probably the most confusing. So we do the same thing with the next. It says sales credit. So we find the sales general ledger, we write the date, post reference. It was a credit up top in the sales journal, so it is going to be a credit here. And when we have two credits, we add. If we have the opposite, we always subtract. So look at this as two separate things. So like this. These are two separate columns, these are two separate columns. So this is where we record the original posting, then we need to find an up-to-date balance. Credit and credit, add this plus this. Finally is the post reference up top, 4110, we're getting that number from down here. Last one is the sales tax payable credit. You bring whatever your total is down, and I'm getting the 30th date, S11, the credit of $383.73. There was no total above in the balance because we had zeroed it out, we'd paid it off. So now our column is back up to $383.73. These show in the general ledger how much is in each account. So if we look at the accounts receivable, this shows we should receive $22,000. In the sales, this shows we made this many sales. In the sales tax payable, this shows this is a liability, payable, we must pay it, payable. Shows $383 that must be paid. All right, that ends the video for 10-2. Tune back in for the work together problem.